Sweet, sweet Jamaica. Have you ever considered migrating to the mystical island of Jamaica? Join me, Michelle Moore, and special guests as we explore the world of Jamaica with those at home in Jamaica and those away in the diaspora, right here on the Home and Away Show. Hello, this is your show, Home and Away Jamaica. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you've been listening to the previous shows. It's all so amazing, these different stories, different people from all parts of the world that have decided to create this wonderful life in Jamaica. It's really interesting, and I'm sure quite intriguing and hopefully inspiring to some of you out there who are pondering. Maybe you're in the middle of packing your bags, making that move, resigning from your job, discussing it with the family, whatever it is, hopefully these stories will inspire you to take that next step, push yourself a bit further and see that, you can do it too. There's many people out there doing it, have done it and living a successful life and have agreed to share their wonderful stories on air on Home and Away Jamaica. So if you're one of those people, get in touch. I'd love to hear from you, love to hear your story. Drop me a line, send me an email. Maybe you'll be a guest on the show, or maybe we can help point you in the right direction. It's the love that we share to help each other progress in life. So this week's show is another interesting one. And welcome to Home and Away Jamaica.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. You've been living in a few parts of the world. You're living in Jamaica now, in Kingston.
Well, me and my husband, we left from Brussels in Belgium to come to Jamaica.
How easy was it?
Well, it was not so difficult. It was not so easy. But It took a lot of preparation. My husband came to Kingston about a year before I went.
Okay.
And he really came down basically to organize everything for us, organize accommodation and, do some of our paperwork and start up the business and all these things, so that by the time that we arrived, that is me and my child arrived, everything was really in order for us to start our new life.
Excellent.
Here.
So you and your husband were previously living in Belgium together?
Yes. We were living in Belgium together. I was working an office job, and he actually went to school in Brussels because he wanted to have a culinary degree from an academy in Europe.
Okay.
So he did his master in cooking at a college in Brussels. And that was also the basis he had for coming to set up our business in Kingston.
I see.
Because we intended to come and open a restaurant in Kingston. So he really had a firm ground to stand on, because he could cook already, but when you go to school, you not only learn about cooking but also about running a restaurant and all the other things that come to look with it.
Exactly. So he had a bit more advantage in setting up his business by the time he came to Jamaica.
Yes, exactly. Also because he learned about European cuisine and all these things, so it's also easier, to cook or cater for tourists and
Okay.
other nationalities.
Right. So what was your life like before you left Brussels? Tell us about your life prior to Jamaica.
Well, it was very hectic, especially for me, working an office job and having a career to think about. I was not home a lot. I had a little baby, and Ruben was always on the road, going to school and trying to organize things. So life was really, really hectic, and it was not nice because we couldn't spend a lot of time with our family. And well, that is the reason why we decided to come to Jamaica, because we knew that life here would be at an easier pace or a slower pace. Life is not so upbeat. It's more flowing.
Right.
and you can find, or for us in our situation, we can just really provide more time for the children, and we can provide more time for ourselves as a family because of the business, also because he's my husband is running the business. I'm helping out, but I really have time for the children and time for the family, and that was really important to us.
When you say Jamaica is more relaxed, do you spend some time out there, or do you have family that live there that were able to tell you about the lifestyle in Jamaica?
Well, of course, my husband's family is here, and we used to visit Jamaica regularly. And then I heard a lot about from my husband, but well, I don't know how to explain this well, but it's just you can really feel that when you're over here, and I think that is what makes people come back to Jamaica and what makes people visit Jamaica also, from countries like Europe and America to come on holiday, because you can just feel it that the environment is relaxed. It's not, it's a different mentality. It's not, I have to do this today. You can say, no,
Right.
whatever is necessary to do today, and whatever comes after,
Exactly. What
And
do you think is the driving force behind that in terms of comparison to the to Europe or the UK and Brussels versus like the Caribbean? Why do you think there's such a contrast in the way of life? Where do you think it comes from?
I think it comes from a whole different factors of things. First of all, there is the climate, where when you have so much sunshine and it's warm, and yet it makes it take things more easy, more than to having to run
Rush around.
everywhere because it's cold outside.
Exactly.
And then I think part of it has to do with the history of the people too, or where they are coming from. I think if your grandparents and your great grandparents were used to a certain lifestyle, and you are living that lifestyle now, which is, to live it easily, or easy way, as I call it. That doesn't mean you don't work, but I mean more relaxed. I think it's harder to adjust or to understand what another lifestyle or a more stressful lifestyle is like. I don't think that is something you would like to adopt once you have had it the other way around.
I see. It's kind of what you don't know. If you're not exposed to that world, then how do you really know if you like it or not?
It's like if you are used to living a life which is where you take time to do things and take time off for yourself, and you don't necessarily have to stress yourself at work or something like that. I think it's hard if you would have to adapt to a lifestyle where you would have to do that. I think it's not really a nice thing to do. So it's not that people don't know about it. I think they really do not want to go there. I think they really know that. That is what I think.
And I've heard it the other way as well. People from Europe
Hmm.
who know of that fast paced society and lifestyle. And then some of them actually can't adapt to the slower pace.
Yeah, I think some people in Europe are do that and are able to do that, but in the life that I had and the options that I had in my life, for us this type of life was available here in Jamaica, and not in Belgium. Where I worked in Brussels, really in the heart of Brussels, that type of lifestyle, I've not really seen that around. It's really all about career. It's all about making money. It's all about who's who, and yeah, it's something that some people really like that. And if you're into that, and there comes a point in time where you say, well, I do not want to live like that, or I want something else for myself, and you have the opportunity to do that, then you just have to do it. So that is what I did.
Right. Do what your heart says. What were your family like, or what did they say when you said that you're planning to migrate to Jamaica to live?
Well, my family was not so surprised because first of all, I'm married to a Jamaican, that is one, and two, I've really been traveling a lot. We lived in Africa, in Ghana, for over 10 years too.
Wow.
So I think my mother was anticipating
Uh-huh.
that. I think especially my mother and then the rest of the family too. I think they knew that the lifestyle that we had in over there. They knew that that is something that we would not keep up.
I see.
And it doesn't have anything to do with working hard or not working
Hmm.
hard. It has to do with the way how you want to organize your life and the way you want to take care of yourself.
Because a key part of life is to live as well, is to enjoy your life and be happy with your lifestyle.
Right. I think yeah, it's being able to as you say, to be
Mm-hmm.
happy, to have time to
Mm-hmm.
live. Because I think a lot of people don't take the time to live. They're just so caught up in making money and all kind of things they're caught up in. And people just sometimes need to step back and say, all right, that is what I want to do with my life. That is how I'm going to be happy. That is how I'm going to be happy with my family and just go ahead and do it,
Absolutely.
basically.
Make that firm
Mhm.
decision. So how long has it been now since you've been living in Jamaica?
I moved to Jamaica the 12th of the 12th.
Wow. I was about to say, how do you remember the
The
date?
12th of December 2012.
Wow, so that's not long at all.
No, it's not that long. I mean, before we used to visit, but really living in Kingston from that time.
I see. So, how was it settling in? I know you visited Jamaica, been on vacation, which is totally different. So, I mean, facing everything now, saying, okay, you're setting up your life and all those processes you have to go through to make it official. I mean, how was the first few months when you finally, settled in and you're waking up in Jamaica every day?
It was very hectic. In the beginning, it was very hectic because you have so many things to arrange. You want to make yourself
Mm,
comfortable. And I think it's anywhere you move to or anywhere you travel to, it takes time to, know where everything
mm-hmm.
is, know where you have to go to, just even simple things where you're going to go to the supermarket, which things you're going to find to eat.
Yeah.
Going to the market in this case because you have to go downtown to the big market to buy food.
What's your
Um,
experience of that? How did you find it? Could you understand? Could they understand you?
yeah, I mean, because I lived in Africa so
Mm.
long, I'm used to this type of
Yeah,
markets because I've, in comparison to the markets that I've visited in Ghana, downtown Kingston is very, very little.
right,
So I'm kind of used. It really reminds me of a market in Africa,
right.
really. But I like it because I like people, on the street side selling their foodstuffs and things like that because it's not like a supermarket. It's
Mm-hmm.
you can really go in and say, okay, this banana was grown locally,
Mm-hmm.
and this banana is obviously a banana that has been grown in those banana bags, or I can say, all right, this is a broccoli that grow on the farm,
Right.
and you have a little broccoli and a big broccoli, and broccoli with a piece of, it's not like the supermarket where it's wrapped up in plastic, and you just buy it and all of them look the same.
Oh, they're shipped from another part of the world when they can easily be homegrown right there in Jamaica.
Yeah, you can really see that things come from the farm or from the countryside, and
Mm.
you can see that they're really fresh. So it's just nice going to the market. I enjoy going to the market and really, digging in
Yeah.
the different stalls and seeing whatever nice things they have that day or what is in season or what is not.
I see. I've never asked this question before, and I find it quite interesting because, I'm born and bred in Europe, in the UK, living somewhere like Jamaica, where, obviously there's a lot more people that look like me, and I'm now the majority. What's it like for you? I know you've lived in Africa, living in Jamaica. What's your experience like being the minority?
Being a minority. Well, first of all, in Kingston here, people tend to find it interesting.
Mm.
People come to you and they ask you, but they're not used to seeing this in a lot of occasions. As for example, when you really go uptown in certain places, you have a lot of foreigners, but when you really move around Kingston or like you go to the school where my son goes to, people are really friendly and they really want to know, why why I'm here and everything. They ask you everything, how you came to be here and how you're enjoying life. So that's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think one of the difficulties that I'm having is that a lot of people want to leave Jamaica and a lot of people want to go live abroad.
Right.
And it's sometimes hard to explain to them why you want to live in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because Jamaica is really a very beautiful place,
Uh-huh.
and is the conditions are really nice to live, but it's sometimes people don't really realize that they don't really see that because they didn't travel to see other things in life. Sometimes it's that is really one of the things about being the minority and maybe seeing things differently.
So do you ever feel like you're treated differently?
Well, yeah, sometimes I do. When I go into the streets, especially when I go into like downtown or some areas where they're really not used to seeing foreigners too much.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I start talking in patois, and then
You can do that,
things
obviously.
change. Because I do. I've only been here 2 years, but I speak patois fluently.
Yeah.
Because I speak it with my husband and I spoke it in Ghana too. So then, the whole setting changes a bit. Because, you come in and the people are looking at you, especially if I go with a baby
Yeah.
or with my child, and then they're expecting you to talk a completely different accent or thing, and then you just look at them and say, "Hey, wagwan, man." And then they just look at you and say, she's a Jamaican, leave her alone.
She's home.
Uh-huh.
She's not a foreigner.
Yeah, she's not a foreign girl. Sometimes, yeah, that's funny. Because then I will do something and then they will see, all right. And then they will come to you and say, where are you from originally?
Mm.
And then I say, okay, that is where I come from. Like the way just simple things, the way I would sit down and eat a fish or something like that.
It's
They
funny how
would
they
feel,
can really tell. I mean, I've heard things like by the way you dress,
oh,
hairstyles,
you can see that, of course.
clothing. It's amazing.
When when my husband used to be in Ghana,
Yeah.
um, at first when he first because he left Jamaica to go to Ghana,
Uh-huh.
and that was really his first experience abroad as a Jamaican, and he could not understand why he was black. I mean, he's a black man,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a bit of the features in the face from the African people there.
Right.
And he could not understand why they could say that he was a foreigner. He could not understand why,
Mm.
because they used to call him white man down there, and he used to hate that because of the shoes he wore and the way he moved around and everything. People will tell, they can tell that immediately.
It's amazing. So to them, he looked like a black man, but he moved like a white man.
Yes, exactly. Even though he came from Jamaica,
He
straight.
is very
Never lived in Europe or in Africa. They just call it they're living like a white man because it is a foreign thing to them. And usually when they see foreign things down there, they see white tourists. So from Europe,
hmm
usually, not really from America. So that is, why they say that.
So when you meet people in Jamaica and they're asking you about, your previous life, etc., what are they intrigued about?
When I say I come from Belgium, they say, "Hey, what? Where you come from?" Yes, that tiny country next to England. Oh, England she come from. You know, no, I think it doesn't really matter because I think a lot of people don't who never leave Jamaica don't really know about the culture down there,
Hmm.
and it's well, to be honest, I think most Jamaicans love Jamaica, and they would prefer living in Jamaica, but most Jamaicans I think travel abroad because of financial reasons,
Yeah.
and to make really not a life, but to be able to provide a better life. That is one. Two, also because they want to experience abroad and see what other cultures are like. But I'm always surprised when people talk about it here. They usually talk about the financial side of it and not really the cultural part of it.
Hmm.
Because I had quite a few questions about working up there, and how life is, financial wise,
Hmm.
but I don't really get a lot of questions about um culture, like for example what music you have up there or
Right.
something like that. People don't really ask that, but I don't know if that is because of who I am,
Right.
you know.
I understand you. I mean, I've experienced the same thing, and people just associate England with money, and it's obviously a motivating factor for a lot of people. I mean, let's face it, yes, we need to survive, but just like you said, a lot of people are fixated on the money and not so
Mm.
much the quality of life or the purpose of life.
I think if you're trying to explain to people here
Mm.
that you made money abroad and you're coming to Jamaica to enjoy life,
Yeah.
they really will understand it. But
No.
if you're telling them that you don't have, that you're really coming to Jamaica to live and make a living,
Mm.
it's quite hard to understand. And I do understand why, because life is not easy for a lot of people here. That's
No.
obvious. But it's a problem that has to be solved by the people here, by Jamaicans themselves, and
Hmm.
it's the way the whole system is run and the way the whole system is really set on the island.
Yeah.
It's not beneficial to it's beneficial to some people and not beneficial to other people.
Exactly. And I mean, what we're seeing now is a lot of people are starting to come back home or consider migrating to Jamaica, those that are living in a diaspora. I'm obviously speaking to a lot of people, and I'm sure you know a few, but it's harder for those that are living in Jamaica to branch out, to travel, to explore and embark on new opportunities across the globe. Since your experience living in Jamaica, what do you feel is really hindering the country? What do you think is a major setback economically or even socially?
In the country,
Mm.
corruption. Corruption is a problem in Jamaica. And people here know that. I'm really speaking frankly, because I live in
Mm-hmm.
Kingston and I see a lot of things, and maybe also because having lived in Ghana so long, I tend to see certain things
Mm-hmm.
because I've experienced them before,
Right.
and I really see that it's a very major problem. It's really a major problem in the country. And with corruption, I mean not just really somebody giving you money to do something. I mean it really much. I mean it much deeper than that. You really have to know people to be able to do something, and
Mm.
it's not always the way to go about. Obviously, maybe it's because the island is so small and everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But you know it's not somebody who's born in a certain area in Jamaica. It's hard for them because it really determines the rest of their life and how they are going to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from as soon as, like in Kingston, from as soon as you say I'm born and raised in Cherry Garden,
Mm-hmm.
doors will open for you. But if you're telling them that you're born and raised, let's say in on the on the waterfront.
Right.
It's a whole different life for you. So corruption, especially also in a way that that people do not get equal opportunities and equal chances in life,
Mm-hmm.
and that some people are able to really develop themselves and get opportunities while others don't, and it just really creates a lot of problem in society, you know.
And obviously, it starts from the top most of the time. But I mean, as a country, or people in the diaspora, how do you think that we could maybe change or maybe help?
I think, well, it has to do with being able to see something different and know something different, because you traveled, and you come back in. And I think when you come in from the diaspora to come and live in Jamaica, you can contribute because you have experienced things abroad and you have seen other things,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what, maybe you can have more influence on certain people in higher positions in the country. It's often when you're traveling from abroad that they feel like you have achieved something and that they will listen to you. Sorry to say so frankly, but often
I
I see
see.
that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's in a general, it's a good thing if Jamaicans can come back and bring their expertise back and bring their knowledge and their intelligence and everything, just bring it back and come and give the country a hand and come build it together.
And the more of us on board, we can make progress
Yes.
quicker and stronger. How would you like to see Jamaica? What is your ideal from what Jamaica is now to what you would ideally like to see it as in the future? What would that be?
What I would love to see in Jamaica is Jamaica as an island to be self-sufficient and to be
Mm-hmm.
able to take care of itself. And,
Yeah.
in doing so, making Jamaicans prosper and
Mm-hmm.
making Jamaicans feel really good about living in Jamaica
Yeah.
and really becoming a place where people want to come to instead of people want to move away from. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really Jamaicans, that a Jamaican can get up in the morning and say, yeah, I really like the way things are organized, and I don't have
Mm-hmm.
anything to say about it. And I know to some, it might seem like a faraway dream or say that
Mm-hmm.
people always have something to complain about. But there's a difference between complaining about something and really, having certain things disorganized.
Yeah.
And that goes from everything. I mean, from food to energy to production in the country. And, you know, I just wish that for Jamaica. I wish that they can really make Jamaica the paradise
Uh-huh.
which they deserve. Because it's a very beautiful place. The nature is very beautiful. The
It
climate
is.
is
It
so nice
is.
to live in. And I think if they would get rid of some of the problems that they have, that would be really, really nice.
Jamaica. Jamaica means a lot to me. Coming like heaven. It's part of me. The connection, the people, the culture, the vibe is just amazing. Like nowhere better than here. Like them saying Jamaica. Love it.
Jamaica means home, a place that contains a melting pot of dynamic culture. It also has dynamic people, which are fun to be around, and just to be a part of a whole entire family.
Jamaica to me means history, culture, and paradise. I love everything, the people, the food, the way of life, the greenness of the island, the sea. I love the way of life in Jamaica more than anything.
I like the sunshine, I like the smile on the people's faces, I love the laid back attitude. Yes, I love the music, I like the people. Jamaicans I have met, in many ways they're like Scottish people.
Jamaica means some of the most interesting people in the world, the home of the greatest music in the world, and oh yes, the best food in the world. What better than ackee and saltfish or potato pudding baked on a coal stove? Not nicer than a nice roasted yellow heart breadfruit. So Jamaica means all those things and more.
Oh, Jamaica mean the world to me because that's the land of my birth. So it mean a lot to me, and that's a place where I would never forget. If it's good or it's bad, It's my home. Mish, I'm not on the hearing it.
Amazing. And you now have 2 children. You've recently had a little boy.
Mhm.
Were they born in Jamaica?
No, they were not born in Jamaica. Not that I did not want them to be born here, but my family really wanted to have me there to help me out, with the younger child. And because it's not easy at the end of a pregnancy. And then secondly, my previous pregnancy, there were a lot of complications. So it was really good in my own interest if I could, go back to the same doctor and the same hospital where I had the first one.
And I'm sure your mom was more than happy to
Of
see you come
course,
home and bring a new baby into the world.
it was also good for me to spend a little time with my family down there.
As far as you know now, Jamaica's your new home, and we'll see what the future holds for you and your family.
Exactly. And so far we have really enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying it too. I'm enjoying the country, enjoying the people, enjoying the time I have with my family and my children. So yeah, I'm happy that I did it, and I'm hoping that there are other people who are listening who really want to come back to Jamaica can just, make up their mind and come.
So if there's anybody out there who is thinking about making that move and not quite sure, don't know any other people that are doing the same, what would you say to them?
Well, just do it. Just do it. That's all. Just
As simple as that.
gather your courage together and start organizing and arranging things. And don't be afraid of the future. Don't be afraid of changes. If the changes are for the better, you are going to be happy. If you're not happy with them, then you just move on and make yourself happy. That's how it goes.
I love it. You just sound so laid back and happy. Wow.
Yeah, but that is how you have to live. There's no point in stressing every day and trying to live up to something that you don't want for yourself,
At least you can say you lived, you followed your heart,
Yeah.
and you're now living this wonderful life with your family.
Some people say I don't have the money to do this or I don't have the money to do that, but if you really want something in life and you want to work towards it, the doors will open and you will get wherever it is you want to be going.
You'll find a way.
You'll find a way, always. You'll find a way.
The Jamaican way.
Oh yeah, the Jamaican way.
Well, Anne, thank you for joining us on the show. I wish you all the best for your new baby boy.
Thank you very much. And the same to you. I guess I'll be seeing you in Jamaica soon.
Absolutely. I'm so looking forward to returning to the Rock. So you take care and all the best to you and your family.
Take care to you too and everybody else who's listening.
Thank you for listening to the Home and Away show. We'll be back soon with more from the series. If you would like to comment, suggest a topic or be a guest on the show, send an email to radio@michelledmore.com.